ready to roll. A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David. And we have had a fairly wetting time since we last talked to you. We had the front go through us overnight and had quite a few bouts of quite heavy rain. Today it hasn't been too wet, in fact mostly dry, the odd shower, the odd bit of thunder. And at the moment we have, well, in fact this afternoon it was 18 degrees, so again we're rather enjoying life up here as opposed to the poor folk of the South Island. We've got 14 degrees now, 4 knots of northerly wind, 1009.7, and yeah, it's about 90% cloud cover. It's been really disturbed in the sky all day, just almost impossible to know what's coming next. But that's what we've got, and I see some great progress from the boats that we are following on passage. So that's pretty good. And in fact, the Picasso have turned in towards the pass. In fact, they might be through it now. The AIS is about almost an hour old. So that's one home, as it were. And let's see what Soy Libra is up to. Soy Libra, Andy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'll see my login here. I have a 25 degrees, 37 minutes. South, 117 degrees, 57 minutes. The wind, my coordinates, 30 cruise at 4 knots, motion. The wind is out of the north-northeast at 14 knots. It is about a year and a half. 100% cloud cover, and the bar is 1021. Doing the Nerva version of Baja Baja, no complaints. I've had an awesome sail. Having a couple of days lower that in the place to play again. I talked to his dry ride, and I probably arrived Thursday afternoon if all goes well. I don't want to get this. All right, back to you, Patricia.
TTA what?
Okay, Thursday afternoon. David was just asking for that. We'll see what happens. Yeah, you've got the worst of the weather actually for the direction that you're going. Soy Libra, not great copy again tonight. 2537 south, 17835 I think east, on a course of 030 true at 4 knots motoring. Wind is north-northeast, unfortunately, 1-4, and 2.5 metre swell. I presume that's settled into the northeast now. 100% cloud cover, and 1021 with an ETA north manoeuvre at about the afternoon on Thursday. Is that all correct, Andy? Over?
Pretty close. It's 178 degrees, 57.
I wondered where that 5 and the 7 came together. 5-7 east. Okay, thank you very much. I'll just hand the microphone.
Yeah, hello there, Andy. And yeah, you're doing well. You're just plugging away. Fantastic. So looking at tomorrow afternoon, about this time, maybe a little bit earlier, you're getting right up there to 25, maybe 24 something. And looks like the same northerly winds that you've got now, probably about 1.5 knots, 1.4, pretty much what you've got now. However, the good news is, after that, the winds are going to back, looks like fairly quickly, as those isobars change their shape. And let's see when that might be. Hang on. Well, it looks like it's going to hang in there till Thursday, about 7 o'clock. We'll give it 7 o'clock in the morning. Then it starts to back. and it's going to become northwest at that point. Northwest on very early Thursday morning. And speed about 12 knots, 10, 12 knots. So that will get you right in there if your ETA is Thursday afternoon. It will stay, it looks like it will stay northwest as you go through the pass. Over.
That's awesome. Hey, my true course, Patricia, was 30 true. Over.
30 true.
Three.
Yep, 30 true.
30 true, got that.
Yep, okay.
And I think tomorrow is what I'm looking at is the wind will turn around a little bit, and I'll be kind of on a beam reach, hopefully for the last part of the trip. Over.
Have a look tomorrow, because he's hoping to be on a beam reach.
Well, hang on. I'm going to give it back to Patricia, and I'm going to fiddle around with this. Hang on.
Yeah, your signal has just come up very strong and clear. Did you do anything? Over?
Nope.
Yeah, I just wondered because sometimes I presume you've got email, packed your email, and of course, well, when we had packed your email, we turned the power down, and I just wondered if you'd had it on low power to start with and then it come up again. So, what is your ham radio call sign, Andy?
I usually turn it up to 80%, or 80 watts of power when I get on the net. My call sign is Kilo 6 Alpha Mike Hotel, KC6 AMH. Over.
Yeah, I've lost the second letter. Kilo Foxtrot, I think. Kilo Foxtrot 6 Alpha Mike Hotel. Is that correct?
Close. Kilo Golf 6 Alpha Mike Hotel.
Okay, Kilo Golf. Yeah, you were Kilo. I was just thinking, did you get that in California, I presume, over?
I sure did.
Yeah, we did ours in California, and I think you're Kilo Foxtrot something or other, aren't you? Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Anyway, back to David.
Okay, well, looking at where you're going to be tomorrow at about lunch, the wind is still going to be pretty much out of the north. I'm looking at four different models, and they all are in agreement. So I don't know about a beam reach, maybe a close reach, but anyway, not too bad, really, if you think about it. Those isobars have done a nice little twist, and we're lucky too because there is a front that's chasing you. That's well off to the west. There's nothing for you to worry about at this point, but due to that, it's causing everything to kind of rotate a little bit, and that's giving you the better wind, I think. But yeah, I don't know about the beam part, but but it looks like it's going to just do everything for the better. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Over.
Yeah, the beam part is kind of a wish, right? And you know, if it happens, it would be a piece of magic. But if it keeps going the way it is, I consider that I've had a really good run on this one, and a good window, and these last couple days of motoring in is a little bit of a price to pay, but that's the way you do it. Over.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you think it's a good one. It could be better, but it certainly got you there anyway. So, and that's the main thing. You wouldn't have been wanting to hang about New Zealand with the weather that we've been having. It has been really turbulent in terms of not knowing what's going to happen from 1 hour to the next. Okay,
One thing
Andy.
to add.
Oh, he's got another thing to add.
Well, you heard me mention about the frontal band. Well, that will be there, but that's on Friday afternoon, maybe a little bit early evening. It's fairly wide band of rain, so yeah, that's about the time. It's very interesting what's happening off to the west, about 175 west. sorry, what is this computer doing here? 175 east. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing, but it's actually picking up some cyclonic circulation, and that, of course, portends a small depression. There is a depression that is down just to the southwest of Norfolk Island, and it is doing battle with the high that's leaving New Zealand, and we've got some miserable weather here. In fact, there's a frontal band that runs from the north of the country all the way up to Noumea and New Caledonia, and then just behind that is a trough, and behind that is another frontal band, cold front. So a lot of interesting weather is trying to get up in your direction. But anyway, you'll get the boat washed off on Friday, Saturday, I'm pretty sure. Over.
Yeah, I picked up a little bit of salt on the windscreens and all, and it'll wash it out. Thank you so much, Dave, for all your and Patricia for all your help and everything. Appreciate it. Over.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting following your passage. I'm not sure that I would like to be doing it by myself. I would get a bit bored talking to myself. Okay, we'll clear with Andy and go. I'll tell you where wind shift is because they don't have a transmit on this frequency. And this is quite recent, this one tonight. AIS tells me they are at 2138 south, 17706 east. Rocketing along 7.1 on a course of 351 true, and if you believe the GFS, it's 15 knots east northeast. They had pretty strong winds last night, and it's sloppy seas. Have to get them reporting a little bit better than sloppy. Direction and height would be useful, but yep, that's what they've got down there. And in fact, before I go to Tuatara, they'll be interested to know what's ahead of them. Kotanui they're smelling the barn too. They've only got a very short distance, 70 miles to the pass. They are at 1901 and 17645 east, and they're currently experiencing 20 to 28 knots of wind from the east, with a touch of south in it, 095 true. 2 metre, very short period easterly swell. So I think the crew on board Kotanui will be rather pleased to get through the pass in 70 miles. I'm sure they're just working out just to keep the boat comfortable at the moment because they've got plenty of time. So thanks for that, and hello to all on board Kotanui. Right, Tuatara, Gulf Harbour. Yeah, good evening, Pip and Rob, and hope you're reasonably comfortable with those seas. Go ahead, over.
Reasonably comfortable. We are pretty close to Winford, so I like the dropping seas. From about up to 29 knots last night, and things have eased to similar to what Winford's giving now. We're currently at 21 degrees 38 minutes south. 177 degrees 58 minutes east. We're going around 6 knots. We're course of 347 true. And we have wind speed 15 wind direction northeast, and the swell is reduced a bit today from easterly 1 to 2. Skies are clear, the barometer drops a little bit to 101.7. Over.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, you're not too far from wind shift. 21 in Pantaray is around there somewhere. 2128 south, 17758 east. They're on a course of 347 true at 6 knots, and the wind is 15 to 20 northeast, so a bit stronger than what GFS is saying. Well, not too much stronger, but anyway. And they had about 29 knots last night too. The swell is down a little, 1 to 2 metres from the east. Clear skies. Well, that's a blessing and cheering. 1017 down a bit on the bar. So all seems to be going pretty well for you guys, Pip, so looking good. Over.
Yes, they're all taking well. We've been on an angle for not sure how many weeks now, but it's all good. Okay, over.
Yeah, they'll be probably walking around with a bit of a left tilt by the time they get there. But anyway, I'm sure that will be sorted out after a couple of cold ones. Okay, we'll clear with Tuatara, and as I mentioned before, Picasso are through the pass, so that's the lot of the boats tonight. Those in Tonga, Niafu anyway, are starting to move around a bit again after the winds have dropped, so that's all good. And I haven't actually checked the ones in down the bottom at Tonga Tapu as to what they're doing, and I have been keeping an eye on all those boats heading into Tanna. Don't know where Renard 4 is at the moment. This is Gulf Harbour Radio. Is there anybody else wanting to touch base with us? Please call.
Radio, this is Falado.
Oh, Falado. Yeah, whereabouts are you guys now? Over.
So we didn't give you a heads up. We just left Tonga today, left Niafu today. So we are en route to Ferguson. Current position 18 degrees, 31.846 minutes, and 174, 49.525 minutes west. We are in 3 metre swell, getting along about 6 knots, just with a rest in hour only, heading 2802, wind around 22 knots from the east southeast, and about 70% cloud cover. Over.
Okay, well at least that 3 metre swell is pushing you sort of in the right direction. Falado left today to head to Savu, and they are currently at 1831 south, 17449 west. 3 metre swell, I guess, sort of from the east-northeast direction. 6 knots boat speed on a course of 280 true. I guess that's bang on to where you want to go. 22 knots from the east-southeast up there, so that's interesting. I thought the wind had dropped a bit. 70% cloud cover. So I'll just pass the microphone. Hang on a minute, but I'm sure you've got the weather. Here you go.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bit of compression in those isobars tomorrow. And I think you're going to be looking about 24, 25 knots up to maybe 28 knots. Looks like out of the east, so everything is pushing you where you want to go, so I guess we can't complain too much about that. And let's see what happens the day after that. And the wind comes down, fortunately. The isobars start to spread just a little bit, and I would say you'd be looking at maybe 15 to 22, 23 knots Thursday at about lunchtime. What's your ETA for Savu Savu? Over.
ETA
Friday morning, I think.
I think you said Friday morning. Is that Roger?
yes, correct.
Okay, good. Well, just outside of Savu Savu, the winds are going to be about maybe 14 to 17, still out of the east, but of course once you start getting behind some of the islands, and particularly when you make the turn around Cousteau there, the wind will drop down a lot more. It'll be quite nice. So yeah, you'll have a pretty good passage from what I could see. And I see scattered showers, nothing to write home about, but here and there there'll be a few showers, so not anything to worry about, that's for sure. That's Friday. I'm looking at Thursday, and Yeah, even there's a chance of very, very light scattered showers. So maybe cool you off a little bit, perhaps. Okay, here's the chief.
Yeah, and I was just seeing that there's another Canadian boat just left as well, Sliver, not too far from you, Jen. So, yep, all right, we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Over. Are you there, Falado? Falado?
Yes. Thank you for that. We're just very happy not to have the motor running. We'll listen again tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, it is good. So just a little bit rougher than it could be, but not to worry. Got a good boat. All right, is there anybody else for Gulf Harbour Radio? No, I forgot to ask David if he's going to be doing something with weather tonight. Are you ready to receive the microphone?
Yeah, I could talk about what's
Oh,
going
right.
on.
Okay, he's going to talk about what's going on. We've just remembered that the Olympics are on just before we came on air and turned it on. There is quite a lot of activity, not much of interest at the moment for New Zealand, but yeah, there's been some quite big upsets, particularly in the rugby. Fiji won't be very happy, as neither is New Zealand. Fiji got beaten by France, which was rather good, really, because seeing as the Olympics are in Paris. They were all very excited, and New Zealand got beaten by South Africa. But apart from that, there hasn't been too much. Lot of interest in the water, in the swimming. Australians are performing really well, as are the Americans, same as usual. So yeah, but we haven't been paying an awful lot of attention. So if anyone wants anything in particular, I'm sure you've probably all switched into that yourselves. But if you want anything, let me know. And now I'll pass the microphone to David.
Well, listen, real quickly, what's going on in Fiji? Real simple. They still have a strong wind warning in force for all waters, all Fiji waters, and east to southeast wind 20 to 25 through tomorrow, and the usual rough sea and moderate southerly swell. And the day after, east to southeast, same thing, 20 to 25 knots for the following day. Then running over to Tonga. If I can get my cursor to work here. And they have got virtually the same thing as yesterday. Strong wind warnings for Tonga Tapu and Ua. For the Hapais, the same thing. Strong wind warning. Vavau, strong wind warning. And for New Potatoes, the same thing. Strong wind warning. And for the Minervas, the same thing. And looking at the marine forecast, they're still in with the damaging swell, and the coastal water forecast for Vavau, Hapais, and Tongatapu, east to southeast 15 to 20. Then they're talking about rising up to 25 to 30 at times, and rough seas, the 3 meters, and the moderate southeast swell up to 4, still there. That's amazing. And for the Minervas, northeast 15 to 20, up to 25, and expect to ease down to 10 to 15. Andy, if you're listening to that, they're talking about the winds easing considerably for, well, both north and south Minerva. And moderate to rough sea, about 3 meters. And then for Thursday, for virtually all Tonga waters, easterly winds 15 to 20, rising up to 25 to 30 at times. Not so sure about that. For Tonga Tapu, they're calling off northeast 10 to 15, and that I do believe. And also for the Minervas, that's good. That's northeast 10 to 15. So that's in sync with what I see. So anyway, that's good for Andy. And one last thing. We've been getting a couple of little notes complaining about the winds are not in accordance to forecast. And I'm not sure exactly which forecast that they're looking at, but the forecasts that we've been putting out have been pretty accurate from what I could see. But what I think is happening and what I want to just briefly touch on is for people to understand clouds. Now, this particular week, we have got a lot of cloud activity throughout all of the Southwest Pacific. And you're all sailors, so you know what clouds mean. But the simple thing is, you get underneath a fairly large cumulus cloud, you're going to have some dead air, and obviously as the air rises, you've got a small little low pressure area that forms, and you may get some rain or you may not. But on the fringes of the cloud, you've got gusts, and that's just one cloud at one point. And then think about what happens if you're sailing in a particular direction and you have clouds that are moving in a slightly different direction from you. Like say you were sailing north and the clouds are going, say, from the southeast to the northwest. Well, as they're going faster than you, and on their western side, they're going to be putting out gusts. Actually, all around them, they're putting out gusts. But for you, the thing that you would want to note would be the western side. So as these clouds go by, you're going to have a gust, then there'll be a low, then another gust. And the models are not going to be able to pick this sort of thing up. They're hoping one day that they might be able to. Maybe they will. But the simple thing is you have to be aware of what clouds can do, particularly where you are in the tropics. So, yeah, I was going to do a little bit more on clouds, but like I said, you're all sailors, and a lot of you are racers, and you know about gusts and lulls and all that sort of thing. But that's maybe part of the reason why the forecasts that you're getting, and a lot of you are getting them from routers. And I think, in a way, I feel sorry for the routers because often what they will do is to send you out an email, and they'll put out maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 days of wind direction and wind speed. Then when that day shows up, you're not getting what they told you in that email, and then you complain. Well, it's really not their fault, because we talked about models being, again, like an old record, I suppose. They're just ideas, and as time goes by, they are going to change. So don't put all that much faith in what you hear from a situation like that, where a router is putting something out for 3 to 5 days, because he or she isn't really going to stand a chance to be totally accurate, because the models have been changing virtually every day, and it's been quite surprising to me. We've been doing this, I don't know how many years have we been doing this? 14, 15 years, and this year has been amazing in terms of the rapidity of which the models have changed their minds. So anyway, again, just keep your eyes and ears open, use the models as an idea, and we here at Gulf Harbor will do our best to let you know what's going on. And you'll notice I do ask for cloud conditions oftentimes, at least when the radio propagation is good, and I'm doing that for that reason. I want to see how much cloud is around you, because then I could maybe guess if that forecast that I'm looking at would be accurate or not accurate. So yeah, that's enough. Can't think of anything else. Well, I can, but everybody will go to sleep. So here's the chief.
All right. right, and just for those boats going to the western side of Fiji, Picasso, I was incorrect. They have not yet gone through the pass, and some interesting information from them. They are only 13 miles, 13 miles from the pass, but the lee is affecting the sea state, and I would have thought that it would have lessened it and flattened it, but no. The chop is gone, but there are big 3-meter swells, sometimes 4 meters.
Yeah,
so
that's the forecast.
that is the forecast, and that is indeed what they are getting. So the Picasso and soon that Kota Nui will be very pleased to get inside and put the anchor down. All right, thank you very much for that information, Daisy, and I will do one more call in case there's anybody else with anything. Please call now. No, nothing heard from anybody, so have a good night, everybody, and we will be back again tomorrow. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, and we will be clear. I was about to give my ham radio call sign. Just a reminder, folks, that the ham radio marine net is on in the mornings at 2100 UTC, which if you're on New Zealand time is 9 o'clock. And that is on 14315, upper sideband, of course, if anyone wants the ham radio net. Okay, cheers everybody, we're clear.